Hey guys, today I'm going to go over converting a GMT800 long bed to a short bed. This should apply for all of the 2000 to 2006 models. I've already got the cab off of this one, but on a normal project you wouldn't have to do that. We just lifted it up to keep from getting the sparks and everything on it. So the first step here is to pull out the differential. So you got to pull out the front and rear leaf spring bolts on each side, and then you've got the shock absorber bolts on the top. And then we had to pull off the brake line and park brake cables as well. You'll need a 21 and a 24 millimeter for the leaf springs, and then the brake line I believe is a 14 millimeter on that. The next step is to cut off the long bed leaf spring hangers on the front. The short bed and long bed leaf spring hangers are different, so I started cutting the rivets off with a torch on the leaf spring hanger side, mainly just because they're going to go in the scrap bin anyways. When I cut the short bed ones off of the other frame, off the donor frame, I'm going to cut them on the frame side so I don't wreck the hangers. The second bed mount back is also 2 inches further back on a long bed, so we need to cut that off and weld it 2 inches further forward. I didn't get that on video, but you will see it removed here and you'll see me welding the new one on. The next step is to mark out the frame so we can cut it. The short bed wheelbase is 14 inches shorter than the long bed, so you can measure 14 inches back from the factory weld, and then it's up 28.25 inches from the center of the front bed mount, just so you can verify that you're in the right spot. I'm throwing some jack stands underneath the rear section of the frame just to catch it once I torch it. You just don't want that thing dropping there. And now we just do a clean cut right along that line we just placed, and you don't have to worry about saving any of the other frame because you got 14 inches there that's getting cut out anyways. Plasma cutter would have been ideal for this, but my plasma cutter was screwing up on me. There's two different ways to do this. This one you're seeing here, we took a factory short bed rear frame cutoff, and we're actually going to end up welding that one back in place. You also can take the long bed and shorten it itself. I'll show you both ways on here. We did two of them. Here I'm cutting off the factory short bed leaf spring hangers, and then I'm also going to cut off the forward bed mounts so that way I can weld them back on my front section of frame. After cutting the rivets out with a torch, I take the air hammer to the backside and just hammer them out. I cut the whole bracket off because that front section of the frame is not getting used anyways. Where you see that white paint marker there, that's where I'm going to end up cutting this, and everything to the left of that's getting saved, everything forward of that is scrap metal. This frame here is actually the factory long bed rear section, so we're doing this on a 4-wheel drive, and then the short bed is on a 2-wheel drive that we're doing. So same thing, we got to cut out the extra frame there, so it's the same white paint marker that we were talking about on that other frame. The main difference is the back behind the leaf spring hangers. You got to cut that down to 3 inches. I think it's 6 inches factory on a LongBed. And then you also got to drill all the bed mount holes, the bumper hole, and the receiver hitch hole. Other than that, the rear section is pretty much the same. I'm taking a torch to do rough cuts along all those white marks that I was talking about. And then where that tube is that runs through the frame, I'm actually cutting around there, but leaving a little bit of frame on it. And then after I get done torching, I'm going to take a Sawzall to that, chop it down so that way it can fit inside of the frame rails. So that tube is not going to actually go through the frame anymore like it used to. We're going to run that right up next to the frame and then butt weld it back up to it. If you're running your factory LongBed rear frame and just cutting it shorter, you'll have to cut these tabs off about 6 inches off of there. You got to do where it wraps around the frame. It lands right at the curve of the frame otherwise. After a bunch of grinding to clean up all the torch slag, you're ready to fit the frame. I've posted the measurements on here to get it all lined up properly. Really what we did is we lined up the lengthwise first, and then we did a X measurement, and then we have to make sure everything is parallel with each other, which we ran a big straight edge from the front bed mount all the way to the back bed mount. Everywhere there was a weld factory, you got to put a weld back again. So we're pretty much welding all the way around that thing. As I mentioned earlier, the second bed mount need to be moved forward about 2 inches. Center hole to center hole is 16 3/4 inches, and Basically just keep them level with the top of the front bed mounts. We ran a straight edge all the way from the front bed mount through the middle one back to the very back to make sure everything was straight, and just weld that 16 3/4 inches on center. This is about what it should look like once you get it all welded back in place. We basically moved that factory seam 14 inches forward and then re-welded it the same way they would have from the factory. Really the only difference is that tube not running through the frame. These are the measurements for the front leaf spring hangers based off of another ShortBed. You can see the measurements are slightly different side to side. I think that that's just a lack of quality from the factory. I just measured it all off the edge of that front bed mount for reference. And then once I marked all the distance back on there, I used the actual leaf spring hanger to mark heights off of that. The bottom holes I marked after the leaf spring hanger once the holes were all in place. Front leaf springs get mounted with some 7/16 grade 8 hardware. If you're using the factory LongBed rear section, you have to drill your rear bumper holes, your rear hitch holes, and your bed mounts. So these are for the rear bumper holes. The bed mount measurements I based off of the front of the leaf spring hanger as seen in this picture here. I figured that's a pretty solid reference points for any of the frames no matter what you're dealing with. Final step is to put the rear diff back in, hook up the brake line, which does need to be shortened, so you can basically just re-bend that, re-flare it, and hook your brake line back up. Then you just got to hook up your shocks, your park brake cable, which the park brake cable is going to have to be shortened as well. And then obviously the drive shaft, you're going to have to get modified from a local drive shaft shop. And then after that, you put your ShortBed on and you're ready to roll. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you can follow along on this and all future projects. Thanks for watching, guys.